G'day guys, my name's James and I'm going to be doing season reviews on my opinions for the AFL season 2014, starting from the bottom and working my way up the ladder. Now, starting from the bottom, St Kilda. Alright, now St Kilda had 18 losses, and 4 wins. Now, I'm not sure if anyone in their books can call that a pass, especially after being 2-0 at the start of the season, remember? And also 3-2 after did they beat Essendon, I believe. So they had an alright start to the year, and it all came crashing down in dramatic fashion with a couple of blowouts. And yeah, St Kilda, not really much good I can say. However, highlight Nick Riewoldt. You can't go past him. There's no one else that can stay there and stand up and say, I put my all in this year, because Nick Riewoldt had no midfield help. He had no help coming out of the back line. So he went up and did it himself. He was running on the wing. He was running through the midfield. So they needed two Nick Riewoldts, one of them in the midfield and one of them up forward, just so he'd get some delivery in the forward line. My low lights would have to be round 7. St Kilda versus Hawthorn, 175-30 was the score. That was after at the stage they were 3-3, and they were looking better than they have been. And then Hawthorn came and knocked them straight back down to earth and said, "Look here, you guys aren't meant to be at this level." And this season they haven't been at that level. After being 3-2, to win one game for the rest of the season, that's just not good enough. Christmas bonus again. I can't say to anyone else, but it has to be Nick Riewoldt. He's the only one that's done anything for that club this year. And yes, I know they've had all their off-field sagas and they're in a rebuild phase, but they haven't done it as smart as GWS or as Gold Coast. So, on my chopping block, and it may sound a bit harsh, but it's what I think they need, is I know they've already chopped a couple of their seniors or their veterans, but they need to get rid of, and not just get rid of, it's for their benefit as well, like your Trent Dennis-Lane and your Shane Savage. As in, yes, I know Shane Savage has had an alright season this year, but Trent Dennis-Lane has been brought in and done squat. Shane Savage has done alright, but it's for the sake of the club, because that moves into what they need to do this next season to, well, improve if they can, is they need to get rid of some of these experimental players, because they're starting a rebuild phase, and they've been starting a rebuild phase for a couple of seasons now. And they need to get some young stars in. And they've tried and they've failed, basically. So they need to work with Gold Coast Suns and Greater Western Sydney and get rid of some of these more senior names like Trent Dennis-Lane and Shane Savage, and use them as trade bait to get in some good young stars. As in, could you imagine if Jack Martin was running through the midfield there? That'd just be amazing for St Kilda. So that's what I believe they need. Next year, what do I think of St Kilda? I can't see them moving from the bottom of the ladder in the near future at this stage. A lot of the clubs above them, as you'll see with my later reviews, like Western Bulldogs and Greater Western Sydney, and even Brisbane to a point. Melbourne's a different story, but out of them, they all look like they're going in the right track. They've started their rebuild and they've got that good bunch. But St Kilda still don't have that bunch, and their best player is only got a couple of seasons left in him, if that, so he can't carry them the whole way. They need people to come through, which they just don't have at the moment. So I see St Kilda winning probably 3 or 4 games, so maybe even going down. But at this stage, I can't see them going anywhere. So that's the end of season review for the St Kilda Football Club. Tough times ahead, maybe. If they do the things right, they might push in a couple more wins, but I don't see it happening. Stay tuned for the rest of my end of season reviews, and nice talking to you all. I'm James, saying sayonara.